guys, what is up and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing the 4th episode of the podcast, and yeah, as I said in probably the pre-intro, we have a lot to talk about today. In a very short amount of time, the amount of stuff that's accumulated has been a lot. I don't know where to start from, honestly. If you see me looking down, it's because this time I do not have my notes on my on a pad. I have them on a mobile. See it very much easier that way. So yeah, we're not going to be talking about a lot in terms of Serie A today. So if you're a Serie A fan and you don't care about Milan, you can click off the video. I don't mind. But it's mainly going to be about AC Milan today, and we're not going to touch a lot on Serie A, but we are going to touch a lot on Milan. So we're going to start with, should we start with the goodish news or the bad news? We'll start with the goodish news. So we're going to start with Milan have new investors investing in them called Investcorp. They're a group from Bahrain who are apparently bidding 1.1 billion on Milan. That's how much Elliot wanted, and they have accepted that amount of money to basically buy Milan out from Elliot. Do I like this move? I'm going to give my opinion first, and then I'll give an opinion. I'll give like the general consensus of this move. Now, my opinion, do I like this? Yes and no. And I'm going to say why. Now, in the beginning, when I first saw this news, I was like, alright, so does this mean that the Origi deal falls off? Does this mean that the Botman deal gets fallen away? Does this mean that all the deals that we have gotten up until now, are they falling away? And that was a big no-brainer for me, that if they all fall down, I won't be a big fan of this move. For the simple reason that I don't want Milan to spend cash on players that haven't proven themselves, and then they just go down the drain again into banter era, and they're in a lot of debt. But when I actually saw the news that Origi and Botman will probably still be signed with these new investors, and also Maldini, Massara and Moncada will be staying, the Triple M, I much more like the deal, because Moncada takes care of our youth system, and again, with all this money that they will be bringing in, this new investors, or that they state that they're going to be bringing in, they need to basically just improve 2 positions, alright? Striker and right wing. The cam position is another one, but then again, you have Diaz, who is a decent cam, and you have Adli, who is coming next season that you don't know what he's going to bring. So technically, if they can pay Dybala 8 million and bring him in, fine, bring Dybala in. But there's no need to spend a lot of money on a cam, in my personal opinion. Now, the main 2 positions that I said that we need is right wing and striker. So they need to invest money, a lot of money, into right wing and striker. But to be honest, they have mentioned a lot of names. Now with these owners, obviously the likes of Botman, Origi, there was a right back that was for free that he was mentioned with us, Renato Sanchez, the players that we already got like Pobega and Adli, Berardi, Delafeu, Di Maria was mentioned a little bit, Dybala was mentioned on a free, but then again we don't know if we can pay his wage. Who else was mentioned? We had all of those. Then we had Noah Lang, and then for strikers we had what's his name, Scamacca, Origi obviously, Belotti, and there was another name as well that I forgot. Who else was there? There was someone else in the strikers that we could have got. Jovic was named again, but it wasn't him that I was thinking of. But yeah, those were the names that were going to be brought in, or that were going to be thought of maybe being brought to Milan. But now with this new ownership, the names that have been mentioned is obviously Botman still. Cambiasso was thought about with either ownership. Then you had, for the CDM, you have Tuchiyami, I don't know how to spell it, to say his name, but you have him. Renato Sanchez still being named within your ownership, but not as much. Then you have Dybala, you have Nkunku, you have Anthony, you have Berardi, you have De La Feu is still being mentioned, Di Maria, you have Sterling, you have some other random names, and you have in the attack you have NUNEZ and you have Haller in the attack. Now, I'm going to quickly touch on all this with my personal opinion, alright? So, my personal opinion is these new owners are going to do good if they invest in the positions we need. So, technically, I wouldn't bring in Berardi. You know, you have Berardi, you have De La Feu, you have Anthony, and you have that. You don't bring in the best in right wing, cam, and striker. You bring the best in the position that we need most, which is striker. You bring in the best you can bring in. You already brought in Origi, who is a proven striker and knows that he can score. So then you go and bring in NUNEZ or Scamacca. Scamacca's proven in the Serie A, and NUNEZ is a young striker who has the build. He's big, he has the dribbling, he has the pace. But obviously there is a lot of people that are scared that he will be another flop. Like 45 million to 60 million I think he's worth. And you know, you could spend that much money, similar amount of money we spent on Andre Silva, and he could go down the drain. But then again, Andre Silva was never given a real chance, in my personal opinion. So, and again, he wasn't down the drain. He moved from Milan and he blew up at RB Leipzig and Frankfurt. So, you know, there's that. I don't know. I think that the bet on NUNEZ for the attack is better than the bet that we made on Andre Silva. We have more competent management right now, and I just think that NUNEZ will be the right player for the attacker. Not that I'll be disappointed if we get Scamacca. Scamacca is also a great player, but NUNEZ is more, I think he'll be more legendary in the Milan colours. Now, also have been mentioned other players with us. Milinkovic-Savic, let me go through them quickly. So yeah, Milinkovic-Savic, someone else was mentioned. We had Bremer was also mentioned with us. De Catelare was mentioned. Maduke was mentioned. Traore was mentioned, being brought up from the youngsters. Zaniolo was mentioned. Now all of these players have been mentioned, and the deal hasn't even gone through yet. The deal, it's still Elliot. Elliot is still Milan's owner, and he is still going to be Milan's owner, probably to the end of the season. Then somehow there'll be a shift in summer, if they do shift. Now, what do I think about this whole thing? So, I'm going to give my perspective on everything, right? So, I think that it's always good to have a good youngster as well as a good first option. So, you have Maignan, and then you have Pellizzari and Tata. Very, very good. Going to touch a bit on some rumours that came out about Donnarumma coming back. I don't think that would be a good idea, for the simple reason that he would get a lot of backlash from the fans. He would also have to join on a lower wage than he was on when he was with Milan. And also he'd be a second choice goalkeeper, because you're not just going to give up Magnan's amazing performances for Donnarumma again. Bro, there's no point. So I don't think that's a good idea and a good choice for him to come back. I prefer him to go with someone like Juventus and maybe build up his career again, because right now his career is going from... It was literally like this with Milan. He went to PSG, it went slightly like this. He won the Euros and then it just went right down. So, yeah, I'm hoping that he goes back to some other Italian club. Roma would be a good one. Napoli, Inter, Juve. I would probably want him to go with Roma, then Napoli, then Juve. And if he goes with Inter, then he's just a scumbag. So, yeah. So, yeah, as I was saying, so we'd have those three goalkeepers, obviously. One really good, the other two that are decent and that can fill his boots, but not for a long period of time. Then you have right back, two very, very good consistent right backs. You have Calabria and you have Florenzi. I think they could be two good pillars for next season. Calabria and Florenzi. I think those two should stay as our right backs. And obviously Kalulu can fill in for them. And Gabbia has also played right back multiple times, so he could play there as well. Now in the centre, I would keep Kalulu, Tomori, Kier, and Gabbia, and I would bring in Botman. That's literally it. Defence sorted. Left back, I would keep Theo, get rid of Balotore, and bring in Cambiasso. If not, we can just keep Balotore. It's not a big issue. But personally, he hasn't done the best since he's joined Milan. So I would like to give him a bit more of a chance. I mean, he only costed 5 million, so if we can sell him for 3 or 4, that's fine, and get Cambiasso for basically the same amount. But I don't know. I feel like Balotore does deserve a bit more of a chance, but at the same time, he has not proved himself at that much with Milan this whole season. Now in the midfield, personally, I would grab Milinkovic-Savic. Now, obviously, you have Tucheyami, who's like 24, I think, and he's worth 35 to 50 million. You have what's his name, Renato Sanchez. Now, I see these as more of attacking options. I don't see Tucheyami. Okay, yeah, Tucheyami is a good player for the defense, but Renato Sanchez is not a good option for the defensive position, in my opinion. I think he's more of a cam. He can play defensive, but I think he's more of a cam. Whereas Kessie is more of a defensive player, and sometimes we play him cam. Now, in terms of Milinkovic-Savic, I think he'd be a good option because he can rotate with Adli. Adli can play sometimes in the CDM, sometimes it can be the other way around. Milinkovic-Savic knows the Serie A. I think it's just a good option for Milan all round, especially if they're going to get this new ownership. Splash the cash, 50 million, 60 million on Milinkovic-Savic. Now, while I'm here, I'm actually going to check Milinkovic-Savic's age, because if I'm not mistaken, he's like 28, but I could be mistaken in that. So I'm going to quickly check it now. Milinkovic-Savic is 27. 27, he just turned it. So 27 is a good age, he's in his prime. Tucheyami is like 24, 25, I think, and Renato Sanchez is 24, 25, Tucheyami is like 23. So obviously there is a good 2 years between Renato Sanchez and him, and there is a good like 4 years between him and Tucheyami. But again, we have Benacer, we have Tonali, we have Pobega, we have Adli. These are all youngsters. You know, you need one good player in there that's going to solidify that midfield. Obviously, I'm not saying anything against these. These are all great players. But obviously, you need that player that has the experience over the years in Serie A, and that player would be Milinkovic-Savic. So personally, for me in midfield, Milinkovic-Savic, Tonali, we have Adli, Cringe, Pobega, and Benacer. Those would be our core midfield that can also switch into some other roles in the attack. Now, in right wing, the options are, right now, that are being linked. You have Zaniolo, we have Anthony, we have Delafeu. So Anthony, Delafeu, Berardi, Di Maria, Zaniolo, and Dybala can play there. So those players, I would say. So personally, I would bring in Di Maria and Delafeu. Because like that, you're bringing in a player that is really old, so we can't expect a very high wage. So like you put him on 5 million, 4.5 million, and you're done. And then and he's a very good player. He's old. He knows how to play football, and he's very good. And then you bring in a player like Delafeu, who is like 28, if I'm not mistaken. So he's still not fully, he's in his prime. He's been doing great with the NUNEZ, and he'd be like what, 15 to 20 million. Splash the cash on him. Give him like a 2 million wage, 1.5 million wage, and that's it. There you go. Right wing is much upgraded from this season, much upgraded from any season, bro. Literally the last time that we had a good right wing was literally Suso, and when we had Suso, we had no substitution for that right wing. Alright, we had Castillejo at some point, but then before Castillejo, I don't even know who was our substitution for Suso at right wing. So maybe Honda? I don't know. But yeah, honestly, I don't know. I think this would be a great solution for a right wing position. You have a 34-year-old, a 28-year-old. And then personally, I would sell Salamakers or loan him out and bring in Bernabe from Parma, who can play in all 3 positions. And sell just leave Messias to run out and sell Salamakers and bring in Bernabe for a player that can play in basically all 3 positions behind the attack. So yeah, that's what I would do personally. Then in the cam position, if you want to splash the cash, you know, you've only spent like what, maybe 27 million on the right wing position, then splash the cash and go for Nkunku in the middle. But you have Dybala, he's not signed with anyone, he said he's interested in joining us. The only problem with Dybala is his injuries. That's what bothers me, because if he's not injured, he's got a good potential to really do well in that cam position, but he is injured quite a bit lately. So that would be the only thing that would bother me. But I'll either go for Nkunku, who's worth 45 million to 50 million, or Dybala, who is literally worth nothing, and you can just sign him. Obviously, Nkunku's wage is going to be like maybe 4 million, Dybala's wage is going to be more like maybe 7 million, or maybe a bit more than that. But then obviously Dybala, you have 7 million for like 3 seasons, that's like 14, 21, and Nkunku's like 4 million for 5 seasons. So, you know, that's going to accumulate to like almost an 100 million signing for Nkunku, whereas Dybala you could get him for what, 21 million, you know. So I would personally go with Dybala, have Diaz as a backup, and then you have Bernabe and Adli who can also play there, and then you've got so much more depth and so much better players. Like, you're not going to have a Kessie type player that can play there. You have Milinkovic-Savic. If we bring in Milinkovic-Savic, we could have him that could play there as well. So yeah, I think that would be a good option. And then you have Rebic and Diaz, and not Rebic and Leao, and you also have Bernabe who can play on that wing as well. So very much a good balanced options for that. And you've improved the cam position, you've improved the right wing position, and then the striker position, splash the cash and get NUNEZ, bro. Get NUNEZ. I know it's a gamble because he's in the Portuguese league, it's a very ANDRE SILVA type signing, but splash the cash and get him. Give him the opportunity. You know, you have Giroud as a backup, you have, what's his name as a backup? Origi, he could really surprise and do well, and you also have Ibra, who might surprise you and not get injured. So you have a good amount of players as backups. Dybala could also play as a prima punta, so you have Dybala as well that can play there, and maybe even Delafeu, you could chuck him in there up front, and he could do well. So you have a good amount of options there if you get those players. So that would be my my team. My starting 11 would probably be Maignan, Calabria, Kalulu. Actually, no, you know what? Maignan, Kalulu, Botman, Tomori, Theo, Tonali, Milinkovic-Savic, Di Maria, Dybala, Leao, NUNEZ. That would be my starting 11 for next season. Now, personally, like that, you haven't spent a lot of money. You've spent 20 million on the right wing position, basically. Like, let's say 30 million. 20 million in the middle for the cam spot. You spend 70 million or 60 million for there, so that's what, 50, 110, and like 60 million on the attacker. So let's say you spend in total 200 million euros. So, I mean, we spent a lot more in the season where we splashed the cash on so many different players, bro. Let me look up here because it's in my notes. Let me look it up here. So in my notes, I'm going to go down slightly in my notes. So there was a season where we got like 11 players when the Chinese took over. We got 11 players. It's more up actually. Give me a second, guys. So we got 11 players. It was in the season of what's his name, Fascione and Mirabelli. We had gotten Kessie, Musacchio, Rodriguez, Silva, Borini, Calhanoglu, Conti, Donnarumma, Bonucci, Biglia, and Kalinic. Now, out of those, the only people that were young at that time were Andre Silva, Ricardo Rodriguez, Kessie, Conti, those. Because the rest were all on the old side. Calhanoglu was in his prime, the rest were all on the old side. So, Conti was a flop, Kessie was good, Rodriguez was okay, and Silva, they never gave him a chance. So, you know what? Personally, I don't think that it's a good option to go for a lot of players in terms of, and spend a lot of cash, but on a lot of players. Just spend the cash on a few good players and improve the team, and get a few small, talented, young players as well, like Delafeu and Bernabe. It's simple, and maybe Cambiasso for the back. So yeah, I think that would be a very good few signings for Milan. Obviously you have Decatelare as well, who you could get for the cam position instead of Dybala and Nkunku, but I don't know. I really do think that the way I said things, I think that would be the best option for Milan this summer if they were taken over by the new ownership. Even if they weren't, that wouldn't be a bad idea. But obviously, no, you couldn't go for NUNEZ and Milinkovic-Savic. You'd have to go for Renato Sanchez and what's his name, Scamacca or Belotti for free if we didn't get taken over. But even that wouldn't be a bad option realistically, so I wouldn't mind that at all. Now, yeah, so here we have someone that I saw someone posted on Twitter, Il Nuovo Milan of Investcorp, and here it says Maignan, Calabria, Tomori, Bremer, Theo Hernandez, Tonali, Milinkovic-Savic, Antony, Dybala, Leao and Darwin Núñez. Now, obviously, that's not going to happen, I don't think, because Antony is a lot of money, Milinkovic-Savic is a lot of money, and Darwin Núñez is a lot of money. And also, why bring in Bremer if the Botman deal isn't going to fall through? It doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, I wouldn't think that that is fully good, fully, how you say, authentic. So yeah, so I just want to touch a bit on something that I heard about Colombo. He might be getting loaned out to Empoli, which would be a good thing. Maldini also might be getting loaned out next season, which would be a good thing for him as well. There have been some reports that even if we do get taken over by Investcorp, we will not be spending any crazy money. So technically like that, you wouldn't be getting the signings that I said. I think you'd just be getting one big signing, which probably would be Darwin Núñez, in my honest opinion, because we cannot continue like this with the attack that we have. It's just not going to be working out for us. Now, City are interested in Leao, so are Barcelona. Leao's contract is running out and he does not want to extend right now. The negotiations are being held up. And I've had a few questions. I asked for questions on this group on Facebook for questions on questions in general on Milan for this podcast, and I just wanted to touch on them right now because yeah, let me load them up and I'll tell you what they were. So we had this guy that asked how much money are we going to give Haaland next season, because obviously the new owners, Haaland has joined City, so no money. We're going to be giving no money to Haaland unless he scores like a hat-trick with us, against us in the Champions League, and he gets some bonuses from that. So yeah, we're not going to be getting Haaland, and even if, honestly, I prefer getting Darwin Núñez, because Haaland is just going to be like 300 million euros on his own. Darwin Núñez would be like 60 to 70 million, so yeah. But personally, it is a funny question, because obviously he meant it sarcastically. But yeah, that would be a very good signing if he came with us, but it's not going to happen. And also I had another question from the group saying, is Leao going to sign with us or is he going to be leaving like the others? Now, that's why I remembered about the questions, because I was speaking about Leao. He is my favourite player at Milan right now, personally. Overall, he is a great player. He knows what he's doing. I think he has a good set of a good head on his set of shoulders. So personally, I hope he does the right thing, because I mean, Milan offered Theo 4.5 plus bonus, and Theo has been great, crazy great since the first season he joined Milan. So Leao can't ask for much more than 4.5 million plus bonuses. Obviously, I think they stalled because they saw a City offer. But why would he go to City, man? Like, honestly, there's been rumours of him doing a swap with Sterling and like 30 million or something like that. But personally, I think Leao is going to stay. I hope he is, because this would be the one that hurts the most. Calhanoglu was never a big fan of him. He had a very good season the season before he left. Donnarumma, the Donnarumma saga, I was thankful that it ended, because it just wasn't nice always having the same saga after every 2 years. There's no point in it. So yeah, I was happy he left as well. And Kessie, honestly, if we're getting someone like Renato Sanchez, Milinkovic-Savic or Tuchayami, I don't really mind him leaving. He is a very good player, but he's not irreplaceable. So either way, I don't really mind him leaving. Leao, I'm not saying he's not irreplaceable, but this would be the one that hurts the most, because right now he is my favourite player at Milan. So yeah, him and Kalulu right now are my favourite players at Milan, so hopefully he doesn't leave. Hopefully Milan offer maybe like 5 million or 5.5 plus bonuses. I think 5 to 5.5 plus bonuses is fair. But yeah, then again, it wouldn't be fair on Theo. And Benacer just accepted like a 3.5 million deal, so it wouldn't be fair on them too. Talking about deals, to conclude on the Leao thing, I want to say that I think Leao will stay. Hopefully, I'm really hoping. What do you guys think? Do you think Leao will stay? I'm hoping Leao does stay because he is a great player. He's a phenomenal player, and if he works on himself a bit, he could be the best player in the world in the next few seasons. So hopefully he does stay, and hopefully he doesn't move to someone like City, because that'd be heartbreaking. Even though City would have a fucking good attack, you know, Leao, Bernardo Silva, Sterling, and Haaland. Holy shit, they would win. They would win everything, bro. There's no way they wouldn't win everything. Saying that, I mean, they have a good attack now. Don't get me wrong. They have Sterling, Mahrez, Gabriel Jesus, and Bernardo Silva. But Haaland is a prolific scorer, and Leao, in my opinion, he's better than Sterling. So Sterling will switch to the wing, and yeah. But as I was saying, I do think that Leao will stay, and hopefully he will. If he goes to Barcelona next season, then that's totally fine. We could easily pick up one of their players for a good price, but maybe do a swap. But I do hope, and I do think he will stay. If he doesn't stay, I'm sure we can find someone to replace him with. I can't think of anyone on top of my head, but I'm sure we will be able to think of someone to replace him with, especially with Maldini and Massara as the technical directors. Now, talking about other players that are meant to be extending their contracts, Romagnoli will probably be leaving Milan. He will probably be leaving Milan on a 3.2 million plus bonus, or something around that, to Lazio next season. Milan gave him 2.7 plus bonus, if I'm not mistaken. Lazio gave him a bit more, then Milan gave him a bit more, and then Lazio gave him a tiny bit more, and I think he will be moving to Lazio next season. He's injured right now, so he's not playing, but yeah, I do think he'll be moving to Lazio next season, and I do think we'll be saying goodbye to our former Capitano Romagnoli. So yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say, personally. I've spoken a lot about that. Now I'm going to quickly give a quick touch on any other things that I want to speak about, and also a quick touch on the Serie A and on the disappointing Coppa Italia result of yesterday. Okay, so I just wanted to touch on that Maignan had the possibility of breaking what's his name's record, Buffon's record, and also a former keeper of Milan's record of keeping the most clean sheets in a row, or in Serie A for the amount of minutes or something. And I'm not sure if the loss yesterday to Inter does affect that, because I think it's in Serie A and not in Italy. So if it does not affect it, then he still has a chance. But yeah, yesterday's loss, we'll get to that. Milan's last 10 fixtures, the first 5 till now, we won, draw, and won against Genoa. We will talk about the game against Genoa very, very soon. We have left against Lazio, Fiorentina, Hellas Verona, Atalanta, and Sassuolo. And I will actually give my predictions for those last 5 games very, very soon. So, now I wanted to touch on some other things. Give me a second. Just to touch a bit on their statistics of the new players quickly. Anthony compared to Domenico Berardi. So Anthony has 116 appearances, 26 goals, 26 assists, while Berardi has 348 appearances, 126 goals, 82 assists in his career. Divock Origi, 299 games, 64 goals with 26 assists. Not bad, but not great for a striker. Gianluca Scamacca compared to Darwin Núñez. This is the one that I wanted to focus on a lot here. And this was 135 appearances, 66 goals, 19 assists for Darwin Núñez, whereas Scamacca has 168 appearances, 52 goals, and 7 assists only. So yeah, obviously he's in a better league in my opinion, but at the same time, he's in the league. He's also in the league that we are going to be from. So hopefully, I don't know who to get personally. Now we have Paulo Dybala and Nkunku. Nkunku has 249 appearances, 67 goals, 55 assists, while Dybala has 396 appearances, 142 goals and 64 assists. So yeah, that is basically all the comparisons I wanted to make today. And now finally I'm going to be talking about some of the AC Milan games coming up, and also some of the results from the Serie A in the recent weeks. So we have Cagliari Sassuolo 1-0, Sampdoria San Italia 2-1. This really surprised me, as San Italia are very, very intriguing right now because they could avoid the drop at some point. Also Cagliari Sassuolo, what has happened to Sassuolo? They lost against Cagliari. Then again, that just shows that Cagliari are fighting as well for the relegation, to not be in relegation. Udinese Empoli 4-1, absolute demolishing of Empoli from Udinese. They are doing very well Udinese this season. I think they're around mid-table. Fiorentina Venezia 1-0. Fiorentina increasingly putting that pressure on Roma and Juventus in front of them. Juventus Bologna 1-1, very surprising last minute goal from what's his name, Vlahovic, and also Bologna having 2 red cards, which was a very weird one. I didn't understand what happened there exactly. Lazio with the dying emphasis goal against Torino 1-1. Inter Spezia 3-1. Very one-sided game on Inter's side. And Milan Genoa 2-0. We did well to put pressure on Genoa, and we scored in the final minutes when Messias was playing with Kessie, Leao and Giroud up front. So yeah, that was the games, and there was also Napoli-Roma, who finished 1-1. Stefan El Shaarawy still playing for Milan after all those years, obviously. For any of you that don't know, Stefan El Shaarawy was a fan favourite of mine all those years ago, so yeah, I'm glad he got on the score sheet and saved us. Atalanta vs Verona 2-1. Atalanta keep on losing, which is very unfortunate for them. Now I do want to touch on this quickly, which is basically the Milan Elliot transfers since he joined. So we have Gonzalo Higuain, who was bought for 10.2 million. Leo Duarte was bought for 10.6 million. Mike Maignan 14.4 million, absolute bargain. Tanzer Tonali 16.9 million, absolute bargain. Asmir Benakere 17.2 million, absolute bargain. Laxalt for 19 million, what the absolute fuck? No offense, Laxalt. Samuel Castillejo for 21.3 million euros. Again, not the best deal, honestly. Theo Hernandez for 21.5 million. How is Theo and Castillejo bought for the same price? That would... I don't even have an idea. Fikayo Tomori, 29.4 million. Then we have Rafael Leao, that was bought for 29.5 million. Christoph Piontek, who was bought for 35 million euros. And Caldara, who was bought for 36.87 million euros. And then finally we have Lucas Paqueta, who was bought for 38.4 million euros. Then we did sell these players again. We sold Bonucci to Juventus for 35 million. We sold Piontek to Berlin for 24 million euros. We sold Lucas Paqueta for 20 million to Lyon. Obviously no capital gain on that one. And that's it. I think we also sold Caldara. No, Caldara's on loan still. Piontek I already said. Leao isn't left. Tomori, Theo, Castillejo is probably going to leave for around 7 million. Laxalt left for very little money, so obviously we lost money on him. Duarte is going to leave for around 8 million this season, and that's basically it. So yeah. So the only one that I think we should have kept out of all of these was Lucas Paqueta. He could fill in a really good position for us right now in that cam position. Apart from that, Piontek, he wouldn't have done it for us, honestly. I don't think he is the player that we needed in the attack. Caldara fell off, and all the rest, just don't even get me started. The ones that were the biggest disappointments for me was Caldara, Castillejo and Laxalt. For the money that we bought them for, they were very, very lackluster. Duarte also for 10 million, very, very lackluster. So yeah. Now we are moving on to next week's fixtures. I'm just going to quickly predict next week's fixtures, and I'm also going to predict all of Milan's final fixtures. So, in the Serie A, we have Torino Spezia. I'm going to be doing that as a 1-1 finish. Venezia Atlanta, I'm going to be also doing that as a 1-1. Inter Roma, I'm going to go with my gut and go with a 1-1 as well. Verona Sampdoria, I'm going to be going for a 3-1 for Verona. Italia Fiorentina, I'm going to be going for a 3-2 for Fiorentina. Bologna Udinese, I'm going to be going for a 2-2. Empoli Napoli, I'm going to be going for a 2-1 for Napoli. Genoa Cagliari, I'm going to be going for a 2-2. Lazio Milan, I'm going to be going for a 2-1 for AC Milan. And Sassuolo Juventus, I'm going to be going for a 1-1. Those are the results that I'm going to be going for next week's fixtures. And now for Milan's final fixtures, I'm going to be going through them quickly and giving you guys my predictions for Milan's final few fixtures. Give me 2 seconds, I'm going to find them. Here we go. So we have Lazio, Fiorentina, Hellas Verona, Atlanta and Sassuolo. In Atlanta's form, we will beat them. I think Atlanta will be a 2-0 finish. Verona will be a 2-1 finish. Lazio will be a 2-1 finish. Fiorentina will be a 3-3 finish. And last but not least will be Sassuolo, and it will be a 2-1 finish for AC Milan. I think we will draw the Fiorentina game and win all the rest. And hopefully that will be enough to win us the league. Now, I don't have any notes on this, I'm going to go free flow mode. Yesterday's game, I'm going to quickly touch on this, I'm not going to be giving too much attention to it. Yesterday's game, we played good. That is my main thing. The main problem again, Cam, right wing and striker. Because Kessie was decent, and when Diaz came on, he really impressed me. So Cam wasn't really a big issue. Right wing and striker and right back. Calabria wasn't doing well at right back, and I don't know what was going on with the right wing and striker. Giroud wasn't a bad game for him, but he's not that type of player. You can't play Giroud and expect him to get the ball, you know, hold the ball up and make that run, and then, you know, Darwin Nunez, if we do get him, he will do that for you. He will make the run. He can take the ball forward and skip players. That's what you need from a striker. You need them to skip players in this day and age, because if they don't, yeah, you're going to have problems. And this is what we had today. You know, you have Lautaro Martinez, you have Correa, you have Sanchez, and you have even Dzeko can take on players and skip them. Giroud, he's a bit older than all those players, so I don't think he'll be able to do that. Sometimes Ibra can still do that, but right now Ibra's not in contention. Talking about that game as well, if we would have gotten that goal given to us, I'm not going to get into the whole controversy of that, because I will actually start mumbling on for ages, but if we were given that goal, that wasn't an offside, in my opinion. That's literally plain and simple, all I'm going to say. I'm not being biased or anything, literally, Kalulu was nowhere near that attack. The ball was given into Beneke, Kalulu had already run in front of Handanovic, and the ball was shot. He was literally on Handanovic's right, and the ball was going to the left. There was no way in hell there was any obstruction. There was 4 Inter players in front of him as well, so I don't get how that was even an offside. But yeah, when the game happened, I stayed calm and I just shut my mouth and I just basically went on my phone when that happened, because I was just, there's no point in getting pissed, bro. Literally, this is Serie A we're talking about. It happens on a every week basis that someone gets fucked over. It used to be by Juventus, and now it's by Inter. I don't know what Inter why they used to blabber on about Juventus, because Inter are literally as bad as them, if not worse. So yeah, basically we've spoken about that. Very nice goal from Beneke. Kalulu had no intervention in any of the play, so I don't know what the hell that was all about. Very nice goals from Inter, to be fair. So counter-attacks, very nice counter-attacks, all 3 of them. Fast on the counter-attack, and that's what we lack, because, you know, you have Leao. Leao can't do everything on his own. You know, you need a good counter-attack in football, and this is why I don't know why he doesn't play Rebic. Rebic was there, he was available. Why don't you play Rebic and Leao, switch to a 4-4-2 and play Lazatic and Giroud up front? When does he give Lazatic his debut? He gives Lazatic his debut in the last few minutes of a losing game 3-0. What the hell are you doing, purely, bro? he brings out Cringe and he brings out Gabbia instead of Benacer and Calabria in the final few minutes when you're literally 2-0. I think we were in that game. We're literally 2-0 and you bring out those two players. There's no point in bringing out Gabbia and Cringe instead of Benacer and Calabria. Benacer just scored you a goal and you're bringing him out. And Calabria, what the hell? Why are you bringing him out? Tonali, I don't know if he got a small touch or he got injured or something, but he brought him out as well. Why would you bring out a player that's going to be literally a legend at Milan? He's going to stay with Milan hopefully for his whole life. When you have Kessie in there, sorry, but Kessie is leaving. He's going to Barcelona for more money. Why are you keeping Kessie there? Why are you giving Kessie the armband when you could literally give Leao the armband? I don't know, bro. Literally last night, well, not even just last night, he's been getting lucky with the results and he keeps substituting in the same players: Cringe, Gabbia, Messias and Diaz. Now, Messias didn't play a bad game, but he didn't play a good one either. Diaz played a good game. Cringe came in and just did decent. And Gabbia, I mean, I don't know what was going on, honestly. And it mixes players up, bro. When you literally play Kalulu for a whole game in centre-back, you switch him for the last, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, play him at right-back, his mind is still going to be in centre-back, bro. I know these should be professionals, but their mind is still going to be, oh, alright, I need to be on this player at this time. So he was still in the middle when that last goal happened, and he just got mixed up because that last goal, Gabbia just come in, and he just got mixed up where he was meant to be, I think. And he left Gomez running in, running in behind him, and they scored the goal. So yeah, I mean, congratulations to Inter, if you can call that even a congratulations, because they played worse, they had less chances. The only thing they did better than us was take their chances. That is all they did that was better than us. They took their chances when they had them. That's all they did better than us. And they also basically put a few paper monies, I think, few notes down the referee's pocket at some point in the game as well. That's all they did better than us. And personally, yeah, good luck to Inter. I hope you win the... No, I don't. I hope you get destroyed by Fiorentina. I mean, even by Juventus at this point. But I think that I think personally, with how everyone's playing right now, Fiorentina and Juventus, they're playing very similar. But I think Fiorentina have the edge to beat you guys, because you didn't destroy Juventus. Juventus destroyed you, but you still managed to somehow screw them over. With Fiorentina, you came draw. So I'm hoping that you manage to come up against Fiorentina and Fiorentina destroy you and take that cup home. And then we come in and take the league home. And that is how I'm going to leave this podcast. That is how I hope things happen. Fiorentina for Coppa Italia and Milan for Scudetto. Hopefully that will be what will happen. I really doubt it though. I do think that Inter will take the Scudetto, and I do think that Juventus will beat Inter to the Coppa Italia, which would mean that Inter would have 3 cups in literally less than a year and a half, and Juventus will have 1 or 2 in the last 2 years. And we would have none, which would suck. It would suck big time. But hopefully we do win the league. I don't know, bro, honestly, I don't know. With the way our attack is playing, I don't think we'll win the league. But you never know, We could be really lucky and manage to win it in the final few minutes of the... it will probably come down to the wire, knowing us, knowing the Serie A. It will probably come down to the wire and we'll probably bottle it. But hopefully we don't. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed. I've been rambling on a lot and my camera needs to charge. And I need to charge up as well because I've been rambling on. This is probably like a 50 to 40 minute episode. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed, as I said. Please leave a like if you have. I leave some questions for you guys. So quickly go over the questions. What did you think about the Milan-Inter game? Let me know down below in the comments. What are your predictions for the last 5 games of the Milan games? How do you think the whole Serie A table will finish? And who do you think will win the Coppa Italia in Italy? So yeah, those are the 4 questions that I'm leaving you guys for today. I hope you have enjoyed. Leave a like if you have. Subscribe if you want to see more of these videos. Let me know if you want to see any other football related videos in the comments. Yeah. Also, I might be doing a career mode video soon, or a player career mode video soon, based on me, or based on AC Milan, or based on some other team, and I might be live streaming it. So if you want to tune in for that, make sure to tune in. It's FIFA. Probably anyone that's watching this likes football, so tune in. I hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.